Hey guys, welcome back. Hope everybody's had a good weekend. I'm kind of sequestered here in my little man cave slash forbidden zone or whatever I feel I want to call it for that week. Uh, just want to show a series that I really liked during the '70s, and our good friend Eric Kay suggested this one, uh, and I thought I'd go ahead and do it. It's Richard Dragon Kung Fu Fighter. Now this comic was originally based on a paperback novel by Denny O'Neil and a guy named Jim Barry, and they just went by the pseudonym Jim Dennis. And I think like the first couple three issues, most of the kung fu action is like based on that novel. Uh, I actually looked a while back on eBay to see if I could find a copy of the novel or the paperback, and it was anywhere from 60 to 150 bucks. Just in mediocre condition. So I was like, okay, maybe I won't get the novel, but glad to have the series. A lot of good stories and uh, great covers, and there's some decent art in a lot of it. Uh, I think the name of the novel was actually called Kung Fu Master Richard Dragon's Fists. So, in his first issue, we got a great Dick Giordano cover who he did a lot of the covers. I guess probably through the first 11 he did most of them, if not all of them. Um, and got some art by Leo Duranona, or Leopoldo Duranona. He was one of those great Filipino artists that DC had working for him in the 70s. But he did did the art in this one. Of course, this is the first appearance of Richard Dragon and Benjamin Turner, who would later on become the Bronze Tiger. And this introduces the O Sensei as a character. So lots of good kung fu action going on. I think they were trying to get in on the kung fu craze, as far as what was going on in the movies and the magazines, and Marvel, brought out Shang-Chi and all those characters. So actually, a really nice series of comics to read. Issue 2. I really like this cover. It's by Alan Weiss and Jim Starlin, or maybe Alan Weiss and I think Al Milgrom might have done the inks on this one. But you have Weiss and Starlin on the art, and maybe they were trying to get some of Master of Kung Fu's crowd, because as you know, the first several appearances of Shang-Chi was drawn by Jim Starlin. But I think all these scripts were done by Denny O'Neil, except for maybe 11 and 12. I think he did the first 10, and then David Anthony Kraft came in. And I'm sure a lot of you guys recognize that name from just the scripts he did, and David Anthony Kraft's comics interview, which is a great magazine. So got more great kung fu action here. I'm not going to go into what all the stories are, so you can find that on your own if you decide to collect this series. There's another copy of number 2. That might have been, yeah, that looks like my original. It's kind of beat up around edges. Not too bad for, being in an 11-year-old's collection. And here's the very first copy of Richard Dragon I ever had, number 3. And of course, you can tell right away it's Jack Kirby art. And you can also tell that is my original. There's no cover on it. But you got a story called Claws of the Dragon. More Denny O'Neil, based on a novel, like I said, by Jim Dennis, which is actually, like I said, O'Neil and Jim Barry. Just another pseudonym. And there's one with a cover on it, number 3. Another Dick Giordano cover. I think he did Kung Fu action pretty well. And I think there's another copy behind there. Yeah. There's number 4. Another Giordano cover. I think about this time Rick Estrada started doing the pencils, and the saving grace in that, even though I have nothing against Estrada's art, it's just not my cup of tea, but he was inked by Wally Woods. So it was sort of like the art team that worked on the first few issues of All-Star Comics Revival back in the 70s. So anything inked by Wood is basically going to look like Wally Wood. So some great art. More great stories in this one. There's another copy. And here's number 5. And this introduces Sandra Woosen, or Lady Shiva, or Lady Shiva, however you want to pronounce that. Her name is Lady Shiva, and she hates dragons' guts. Well, she doesn't look like she's too fond of them anyway. And there's another copy. I think this was my original. Yeah, it's pretty beat up. And even though I wanted to collect every DC comic that was coming out at that time, I couldn't. So I just I tried a little bit of everything. Here's number 6. More Giordano on the cover. Estrada and Wood on the art. Number 7. Same artist, writer, and cover artist team. Number 8. Same creative team on that one. And same goes for number 9. Watch out, dragon. This is the night that praying mantis kills. And I've said this before, but I always loved this masthead DC had back then. Okay. Here we have the rest. Another great cover by Giordano. And number 10 and 11, like I said, were David Anthony Kraft scripts. And that is the number 24 of DC Comics Salutes the Bicentennial. And congrats to my buddy Eric K., who just recently completed all the Bicentennial, or completed the Bicentennial set. Okay, there's another copy, number 10. And I think by this time Rick Estrada was being inked by Jack Abel, so no more Wally Wood, unfortunately. Still lots of great kung fu action. And here we have a great Samurai Warrior cover. Number 12. I think the cover was by Rick Estrada and our old buddy Vinny Coletta. Say no more. And that's one of the original ones I bought as a kid. Pretty beat up, as you can see. That just means it's been well loved and read a lot. Number 13. Here we got Ernie Chan and Vince Collette on the cover. Big Ernie Chan fan. I know our friend Gratu Orloff is a big Ernie Chan fan as well, so shout out to Gratu. More O'Neill, and I think it's just basically Rick Estrada doing the pencils and inks the rest of the way through. Number 14, there's a great one. Got a Bruce Lee cover and appearance. And they're kind of making him part of the story, like some of his proteges. They ended up studying under him, fighting Richard Dragon. And it's a great Rich Buckler cover. I think this is one of the more expensive ones in the run. This one, of course, number 1, the First Lady Shiva. It'll cost you a few bucks. And I think the last issue will probably run you a little bit. That's a great cover. Love those colors on that. Number 15. It's a Rich Buckler and Jack Abel cover. Axeman. I would have figured he'd been playing guitar. Okay, here's number 16. It's an Al Milgrom cover. And the Doomseer. It's the Doomsayer's brother. Or half-brother, I'm not sure. Number 17, covered by Al Milgrom and Jack Abel. And there we got the ad for the Superman movie contest, which was pretty cool. And we get down to the last issue, which is number 18, and the first appearance of Benjamin Turner as the Bronze Tiger. So, like I said, this one will probably cost you a few bucks. But yeah, it was it was a fun little series. There was a lot of kung fu action, which, when you're a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid, I mean, that's all you want to see. You're not too crazy about plot details and character development, and I certainly wasn't. Later on, I reread the series, and a lot of those all those stories were actually really good. Some were kind of uneven, but for the most part, it's a really enjoyable series. People that enjoy Shang-Chi and any other kind of kung fu comic that was coming out about then will really enjoy this. So I'd highly recommend this series. Thank you, Eric, for suggesting I do this. And like I say, hope you guys had a great weekend, and have a great week. Onward and upward.